this was the iFlight Defender 16. There's a reason why this drone is currently in pieces, and I'll get to that in today's video. I'll explain everything that went wrong and hopefully help you not make the same mistake as I did. I want to own up to the mistake that I did because it's something that happens with the FPV hobby in general. There are some scenarios, some cases where you're just doing something that you shouldn't have, and that's the result. So the iFlight Defender 16, a drone that is super compact, very portable, very tiny, and super lightweight. It carries the O3 air unit on board. This is the light version of the O3 air unit. This is even easier for me to show you because I already tried removing it from the drone so I can access the footage from it. I couldn't save it. This one is actually a stripped down version of the air unit, which obviously doesn't hold up very well in case of bigger impacts, I would say. However, it is possible to use that in a drone like this to make it lighter, even more compact, and fit everything into that small frame. So I'm taking you with me to see my very first time flying the iFlight Defender 16. I had big expectations, and yeah, you will see whether they were met or not. But yeah, let's see the flight footage first, and then when we get to the point where things get nasty, I'll cut back to the studio to explain a little bit more. So this is the carrying case of the Defender 16, and inside you have the charger, which is USB-C. Have an additional battery. This is the 900 milliamp hour battery, and then the drone itself. Super small. It's so compact that yeah, I'm just really curious how it flies, because you know, the dimensions are just perfect. With the O3 camera, this can go through any gap you like. And here we have all sorts of booklets, spare props, tools, you know, the usual stuff from iFlight. You have a lot of things to check out before you start flying. With that said though, let's check the Defender 16 for my very first flight with it. All right, let's go. Okay, so we're in the air. First impressions with the stock tune and stock settings, everything stock. Feels very responsive. I think all iFlight drones have this feature, if I can say that, to be super responsive straight out of the box. And I need to be careful because this drone is fast. I mean, it's fast, nimble, and I need to be careful to not crash into like those poles. There's a big plane passing, so sorry about the noise. And the funny thing about this place is that this is where my very first, or at least one of my very first FPV flights took place. So I'm yeah, very happy to be back here, and I really like it. It's a nice park where you have a lot of, you know, peace of mind, although there is a little construction nearby, so right now it's not really that peaceful. But so far the drone is super steady. I mean, I'm not sure about the freestyle capabilities of a drone like this, obviously, but in terms of just cruising like I am right now, it's fantastic. Feels great. I don't like feel a lot of vibrations, jello, or anything that can kind of ruin my experience. Right now I feel very much in control, and yeah, this is where I need to be careful. Going from a very bright to a little bit of a darker spot sometimes takes a second for the camera to adjust, and this is where you can crash easily. But for cruising and for like making, you know, those super long one-shot videos with a very small and precise drone, I think this might be it. I mean, it's really nice. It's a little bit loud, but that's to be expected, obviously. There's a little bit of wobble that I notice. Let's make a turn here and try to pass under the tree, or at least, no. Let's try again, because I'm not sure where the gap is. Yeah, that's the big gap here. Pretty easy, I would say. Now let's see how much power it has. Plenty of power to do like a little roll, but I'm not sure it will have enough power to like dive this tree, for example, and have the power to pull it back in the end. Yeah, definitely not ideal. Definitely not ideal for a situation like this. Just lacks the power. But I'm sure that's not the drone for this type of job. So I think this is more for like steady cruising, like this, maybe even a little bit faster. I haven't really adjusted too much the settings. It's kind of screaming. It's pretty loud, and here in the park it will bring some attention to it, but that's all right. Let's see again. Yeah, like going full throttle doesn't give you that much peace of mind that you have power, because it doesn't lift up too quickly. So it's like it's taking a little bit longer than usual when we talk about small drones to raise its altitude, like full power. It's yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal, and I can hear the beeping as we are approaching our time to land. Well, what can I say? I mean, I like the speed. Let's see. The cruising speed can be like very quick for such a tiny drone. I'm really impressed with that. I have to be honest, I'm really impressed by that. I didn't expect it to be that fast. So I'm stopping the video here before things get rough, because I wanted to take you with me to see my very first flight with the iFlight Defender 16, not only to capture my real emotions and real impressions, but also I think with videos like these, it's important to give you the whole picture of, you know, what the drone can do, what it cannot do, and do it in one take. So you don't have really a lot of time to figure things out, because that's how impressions are, you know, created. But that was the problem, because I was live commentating my flight and I was focused on flying the drone and also talking, which is, for men, it's not ideal, you know, doing a couple of things at once. And as I was doing that, I missed a very important aspect of flying this drone, and that was the battery life. Since this is a 2S drone, I had to be really careful with the battery, and since it was my first time flying it, I wasn't really paying attention. I knew the drone would hold to about 5 or 6 minutes of cruising time with this battery, and I wasn't really paying attention that much to the voltage. I was mostly paying attention to the timer on the upper right hand corner of the screen. And as I was talking and trying some different things, I think I got carried away, especially when trying to push the drone a little bit to see whether it's freestyle worthy or not, how much power it has. So that quickly drained the battery. And as I was not paying attention to the voltage, I think it got extremely low. So that made the video completely cut. At one point, it completely cut, and here is the result. It picks up speed very well, but in the higher like range. Whoa! What was that?
Telemetry lost.
I completely lost signal. Like my screen went black. Wow. Now, me being extremely unlucky in this situation, the drone cut exactly before getting to a place where cars are passing by, and this is a park, so normally cars are not passing by. Normally there aren't many people around. This is an extremely lightweight drone, so usually it's not a problem to be there at all. So I wouldn't be worried about flying there again. However, being super unlucky in this specific scenario, the drone fell exactly where cars were passing by, and there was a car passing by right at this moment as it happened, so it ran it over. Oh my God. No more. No more flying this drone. This is not what the drone looked like. I tried tearing it apart to see whether some parts could be salvaged, whether I can access the footage from the air unit, as I was recording on the air unit itself, not on an SD card. It would have been broken anyway, but yeah, the air unit has no power. It's completely like bent and broken in my opinion. I couldn't access the footage. That's why I'm showing you the DVR and not the final footage after being stabilized. So this is kind of what happened after I did this big mistake of not checking the voltage, and I was relying too much on like those little pop-up messages on the screen, the OSD, where they tell you low voltage, land now. As I saw that in the OSD when I was setting up the drone, I saw there's some warnings, and I was sure that I would get a warning before I need to land. So I was like, I still have some battery, I wasn't looking at the voltage at all, and at the time I didn't even see what's wrong. Only when I got back home and I watched the DVR, I saw that the voltage is super low. It was about 3 volts per cell when this happened, so it just cut power and it fell to the ground. So this is something that I need to own up to, because of course it's my mistake. It's nothing about the drone that went wrong. It's just pilot error, I would say. And yeah, it's my bad for crashing the drone, as I was really having so much fun flying it. I think, like I said in the video, it's not like perfect for freestyle or, you know, those tricks and flips and rolls. However, for fast cruising, and I want to emphasize on the word fast, because this was quite fast. I wasn't expecting it to be that nimble and that quick. I was having a blast flying this, and I was only going to explore more gaps and more things on my second flight, which I was also planning to include in that video, but of course that never happened. So yeah, that's the whole story about how this happened. And I've reached out to iFlight to let them know, because I think it's important to be transparent and let them know that it was my bad, my pilot error caused this. So unfortunately, I won't be able to fly the Defender 16 anymore. But from my experience, from what I saw during my 5 minutes of flying this, it's an amazing drone. Now, of course, it's hard to justify it now with this piece of, crap here. But if you want to get a nice drone that maybe not so durable, but still great fun to fly, and if you have more luck than me, I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. But that's pretty much it for today's video. Let me know what do you think about my stupidity below, and yeah, try to be nice and respectful, because I wanted to put myself out there, showcase my bad, my errors, because these things happen, and I'm very happy that no accidents more than this were caused. Nothing was damaged besides the drone. So all good, and I'll keep going for my next video. But see you very soon. Talk to you later. Let me know what you think about the video below. Drop a like to show some support, and subscribe for many more videos. Maybe not like this one, but better. And I'll see you soon. Ciao.